Jim Simons was one of the greatest investors in modern history, accumulating a personal net worth of over 30 billion USD. When we look at a legendary mathematician like him, we naturally assume he made his billions by outsmarting other brilliant humans on Wall Street. We assume the market is just a massive poker game played by men in expensive suits. But the truth is incredibly shocking. Jim Simons did not spend his time trying to beat human psychology. He realized very early on that humans do not actually control the stock market anymore. He built the most profitable fund in history by understanding that the market is entirely controlled by cold, emotionless algorithms. Society intensely believes that the stock market is driven by the news and human emotion. We assume that if we just read enough financial articles and watch enough news channels, we can predict what other people will do. We view investing as a battle of human wits. We are taught that if we just stay calm during a panic, we will naturally outsmart the panicked masses. But the truth is exactly the opposite. Trying to outsmart human emotion in a market completely dominated by machines is the exact psychological mechanism that guarantees your wealth will be permanently destroyed. Before we dive in, remember this video is for educational purposes only and is not financial advice. Welcome to TAFA Finance, where we explain investing concepts in a simple way. The concept we are talking about today is the ghost machine. Think of the modern stock market exactly like a massive high-speed highway. In the past, every single car on the highway was driven by a human being. If there was an accident, humans would panic, slam on the brakes, and cause a traffic jam. If you were a calm, logical driver, you could easily navigate around the panicked humans and reach your destination faster. But today, the highway has fundamentally changed. 90% of the cars on the highway are massive, heavily armored, self-driving trucks moving at 500 miles an hour. They do not feel fear. They do not read the news. They do not care if you're a calm human driver. If you try to weave through traffic based on human emotion, you will simply get crushed by a machine that reacts 1,000,000 times faster than you. The stock market is exactly the same. Your portfolio dies because you are playing a human game in a machine world. Let us look at the expectation versus reality trap that catches almost every modern educated professional working in the world today. Imagine a hardworking corporate executive who makes 180,000 USD a year. They consider themselves highly logical and disciplined. A piece of bad economic news drops. The stock market opens and immediately crashes 3%. The executive smiles. They assume the foolish retail masses are panic selling. They decide to be contrarian and buy the dip, investing 40,000 USD of their savings. They assume the market will bounce back tomorrow when the humans calm down. Here's the problem with that plan. Their biological need to feel intellectually superior completely hijacks their mathematical logic. To soothe their ego, they assume they are outsmarting human panic. Fast forward 3 days into the future. The humans never panicked. The initial drop was triggered by thousands of institutional algorithms automatically selling based on a single line of data in an obscure economic report. The algorithms continue to sell. The market drops another 10%. The smart executive is now down over 5,000 USD. They feel intense physical panic. They finally sell at a massive loss just to stop the bleeding. Mathematically, their financial life took a severe hit. Even worse, by trying to outsmart a ghost machine, they literally ruined their peace of mind. If they had simply admitted they could not beat the algorithms and bought boring index funds regularly, they would be wealthy. They traded their actual long-term freedom for the temporary comfort of feeling like a master trader. Contrast this exhausting, miserable cycle with the approach of elite financial minds like Jim Simons. When legendary mathematicians analyze the market, they completely reject the popular instinct to play the human emotion game. Simons did not try to predict what the Federal Reserve would do. He did not care about the news. He openly admitted that human intuition is completely useless against algorithmic trading. It sounded crazy to traditional investors. But instead of letting his ego force him to predict human behavior, he used massive computing power to find tiny, invisible mathematical anomalies. He ruthlessly disconnected his ego from the narrative. He realized that trying to beat machines with human feelings is mathematically suicidal. He valued absolute data and statistical probability over the temporary dopamine hit of making a lucky human guess. This is not just a psychological theory. The real-world historical data behind market volume is absolutely terrifying for anyone caught in the day trading trap. A deep dive into modern stock market execution reveals a devastating truth about algorithmic dominance. Data shows that over 80% of all daily trading volume in the United States stock market is executed entirely by algorithmic and high-frequency trading machines. Let that sink in. When you buy or sell a stock, there is an 80% chance you are trading against a supercomputer, not a human. If you try to react to the news and trade manually, your chances of winning are basically zero. Why does this number matter? Because it mathematically proves that your human intuition is completely obsolete in the short-term market. The data absolutely destroys the myth that you can get rich by reacting to the daily news. By trying to outsmart the system, you are simply painting a massive financial target on your own back. Here's the part that surprises almost everyone. Highly intelligent, deeply educated people are actually the fastest demographic to fall into the day trading trap. Why do smart people willingly sabotage their wealth by fighting supercomputers? It comes down to three deeply ingrained psychological traps that completely bypass human logic and intelligence. First, the illusion of control. The human brain evolved over millions of years to constantly seek patterns and control over its environment. In ancient history, if you could predict the weather patterns, you survived the winter. Your brain is biologically wired to assume that if you study something hard enough, you can control the outcome. Today, when you look at a stock chart and read the news, your brain registers the exact same biological signal of control. You falsely believe that because you understand the story, you can predict the price. You literally expose your life savings to catastrophic risk just to satisfy your primitive biological assumption that you are the captain of the ship. You pay a massive financial premium just to soothe your ego. Simons hacked this by completely ignoring the human narrative and focusing 100% of his mental energy on raw, unfiltered data points. Second, the recency bias. The human brain is a biological machine violently optimized to give massive weight to whatever happened most recently. When the market drops violently for 3 days in a row, your brain assumes the world is ending. You suddenly feel like you must take immediate action. Because your primitive brain is obsessed with survival, ignoring recent threats feels like a biological mistake. You violently abandon your boring, safe investments because selling to cash feels like a faster path to emotional safety. You protect your fragile ego by reacting, but you completely destroy your financial foundation. Simons hacked this by building algorithms that operate across decades of data, completely removing the human tendency to overreact to the last 24 hours of market movement. Third, the David and Goliath complex. We naturally assume that the underdog can win if they are just smart enough or brave enough. When you sit at your computer, your entire identity becomes fused with being the smart retail trader beating Wall Street. Admitting that you cannot beat the machines feels passive. It feels weak. You falsely believe that because you are a nimble individual, you can easily outsmart the massive, slow institutions. The human brain completely tricks you. Because your wealth is tied up in a battle you cannot win, you exhaust your mental energy fighting a war against opponents who do not even know you exist. You trap your future in decades of financial stress simply because projecting bravery triggered your primitive reward system. Simons hacked this by realizing that true financial genius is actually acknowledging when a game is unwinnable for a human and simply refusing to play it. Here's the catch. You can completely rewrite this toxic biological programming by attacking the root identity of your fear, rather than just trying to learn more complex trading patterns. You cannot just rely on manual willpower to stop day trading. You need a cold, hard system to protect your money from your own emotional brain. Decide that today you will completely ignore the daily news. You must establish a strict mechanical rule, forcing yourself to disconnect from the financial media machine. Instead of watching the markets every morning, take a piece of paper and write down the fundamental reasons why you own your assets. Write down things like long-term compounding, economic growth over decades, and corporate profits. If you simply refuse to look at the daily noise, you are mathematically guaranteed to make better long-term decisions. You mathematically force your logical brain to take control back from your emotional brain. You build unstoppable psychological momentum by simply refusing to react to ghost machines. Decide that today you will embrace passive automation. Stop relying on your primitive instincts to time your entry into the market. Your primitive brain is just as insecure and exhausted as everyone else. You must establish a strict mechanical boundary that prevents you from falling into the illusion of control. The next time you get paid, force yourself to automatically invest a set percentage into a broad market index fund on the exact same day every month. You mathematically trap yourself into safety while safely starving your biological urge to feel like a master trader. If you automate your investing, you completely bypass the machines trying to trigger your emotions. Decide that today you will redefine what winning means. Your financial anxiety is directly influenced by how closely you tie your ego to outsmarting the system. You must completely remove the human ego from your daily environment. Stop trying to prove your intelligence by picking individual stocks. You must decide today that true status is not looking like a financial wizard who beat the algorithm. True status is having a massive cushion of liquid cash that grows silently in the background while you focus on your actual life. By accepting that you cannot beat the machines and joining them through index funds, you mathematically free up your mental energy to focus entirely on increasing your actual income and enjoying your family. Big takeaway. The absolute fastest way to stay permanently broke is to deeply believe that successful investing requires outsmarting human emotion in the short term. True wealth is not about perfectly timing the market to finally feel superior. True wealth is about absolutely refusing to surrender your capital to a primitive emotional need for control and action. True wealth is owning the boring, invisible digital systems that compound your money over time, while everyone else is panicking and destroying their peace of mind, trying to fight supercomputers with their feelings. If you look at your past and realize you have completely panicked and lost money trying to day trade the news because you thought you were smarter than the crowd, take a deep breath. Do not panic. You are not stupid. You are not lazy. You are not a weak person destined for failure. You are simply fighting against millions of years of human tribal evolution that relentlessly prioritizes control and immediate reaction over your long-term survival. You are fighting this battle against a massive financial marketing machine designed to monetize your insecurity and ego. Wanting to feel in control